Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. Episode 675. Wow, that is a big number, and yeah, we're back to doing black and white, but we could have fooled you for a few weeks. But I am one of your hosts, Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line, on the other line with me is my gym battling buddy. It's my good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, my man, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
That's good, bro. You ready for the snow that we're about to get hit with here in Illinois? This blizzard.
Joy of joys.
this is this is going to be fun. They canceled my son's school in advance because the news and everyone are saying Illinois is about to get hit with a foot or more of snow in one day. Yay.
Probably get like 8 inches.
That's still enough.
No, it's enough, but it's like people are, oh, you're not going to be able to fucking get out your front door. We'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be all right. I have a nice little thing in front of the house, so I'll be able to get outside. Probably once we're done recording, I'll go outside and get the first dusting of the snow with the snowblower, and then lay down some more salt, and it's gonna be a nice night, fun night. I actually like snow blowing. Weirdly, I'm one of those weird cats that actually likes to get out there and do it.
Just get you out the house.
Yeah. Say no more, babe. You got the kids? Got the kids? Okay. All right. I'm good.
Stephanie has never sounded like that in her life. In her life.
That was an impersonation of me.
No. She would punch you in the neck.
I said that was an impersonation of me. Said, "Oh, you got the kids? You got the kids? All right, I'm out."
So you asked your own question and answered it?
What do you mean?
You say, got the kids, and then you say, got the kids. Like,
yes.
and I was talking to yourself and shit.
Oh, all right. So this is episode 675. It is Rematch at the Nacrene Gym, or translated from Japanese, Shippō Gym Rematch, the explosive new moves. So
Too many crickets.
I know, very long. They get longer and longer as they do these seasons. I'm starting to notice.
There was a period in that title.
there was. And they said we need more. But yes, we are back. Last week we shredded it. We surprised everybody with a episode of Black and White randomly dropping on Tuesday, and you're getting another one this week, everybody. It's nice to have a little bit of Black and White back in your life. And if you were subscribed to Patreon, you heard this episode probably 2 months ago now, Doug. I would say a while ago. I would say, if not 2 months, maybe about a month and a half ago. But yeah, let's get on into it. So we do have a contest. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup work. We did announce this on a future episode, but that would be your final week for joining. But we do have a contest right now where if you join this after hearing this episode, you have 3 weeks until the polls close, and we are teaming up with Drops on good old Twitter, and we are giving away 1 digital, 1 physical, and 1 Nintendo Switch with the Pokemon Arceus game. And all you have to do is subscribe to one of the 3 tiers, and you're entered. So you have 3 weeks from the time of this episode to enter, and all you have to do again is subscribe to one of the 3 tiers on Patreon. And if you end up liking if you end up liking us on Patreon, go ahead and stay. Support the support this podcast, and then we will have more contests coming up. So the more people that subscribe, the more it'll help us, and the more contests we will be able to have for all of you. Doug, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I mean this is a really sweet contest. Like you said, you just have to enter, one of the tiers, and you could walk away with a Switch and a copy of the game. Um, so you don't even have to get your full foot in the door. You just need to get one toe in the door, and you've got a shot.
Yep.
And stick around. If you sign up at the right tiers, you could end up like a past guest of ours and actually get to come on and chop it up with us for an hour. So I mean,
Absolutely. And
there's incentives.
yeah, there's incentives for some of our tiers, and or if you want to just come on and just the enter the contest, we have a $5 tier. That's it. It's a $5 tier. Think about that, everybody. You pay $5, you can walk out with a brand new game or the ultimate prize of a Nintendo Switch and a physical copy of Pokemon Arceus. I don't know which one it is to say it proper, but I say Arceus. I hear other people say Arceus.
I,
I've
I have the game's been out for a minute. I have not heard Arceus. I've heard Arceus.
you've heard Arceus. Okay. Yes, I say Arceus. So but I do hear like people on YouTube say Arceus, and I'm not sure what the proper term is, to be honest. Maybe I should watch a commercial on TV when they're advertising the game a million times. but I
Yeah, because
kind of
it's got a.
but I kind of tune it out. but
So how? So I mean, you brought it up. So how are you enjoying the game?
I'm loving the game. So, as I've said in a future podcast, I had the opportunity of having the game early, so I was
Hmm.
able to grind a little bit. But I also have um another copy of the game, which I actually bought with my physical money, and I've been playing that one as well because I gave the other one to my son. So me and my son have been going back and forth in the game. He's been watching me. I've been watching him. His ass has been finding way more Pokemon than me. I don't get it, and he's a lot lower on the totem pole than I am. I currently have what they call 5 stars, which are 5 of the 10 badges that you can get in this game. And I have a beast line of freaking Pokemon. Um, but you're like, oh, you got 5 stars. You must be pretty far. No, I've actually been one of those very few that are actually grinding and completing my Pokedex in the first region. I've unlocked the second land in the game, but I've been completing my Pokedex because everyone and their mother on YouTube keeps saying, "Boy, I wish I would have grinded and enjoyed the game and caught the Pokemon and raised them up properly before I continued this game." So that's what I'm doing, and we will see how good that works out for me, Doug.
All right.
Yeah.
But you're enjoying the game is the most important takeaway.
Yeah, my main takeaway is this is how Pokemon games should be. The way that we watch the battles in the anime, you can run around. You can actually run behind the Pokemon that you're battling. You can surprise Pokemon. You can sneak up on Pokemon. You see them all in the wild. You can sneak up behind them, and if by some means you're trying to go after one of the big gold Pokemon, throw a berry. I didn't know this. Throw a berry and then try to catch these Pokemon. I was sneaking up behind some of these big old guys and throwing my heavy balls, and they would pop out, and then they would challenge me, or they would eat me. Well, I say eat me, but there's this Snorlax that was literally roaring in my face and literally knocked me out and made me mad because
That's not.
I couldn't get out of there. And then when you get knocked out, like if you drown in the game, you lose no items. But if you actually get knocked out by a Pokemon, you drop like between like 5 to 10 items. And then in order for you to get those items back, hopefully your game is online. Someone else in the world somewhere will find your satchel, and when they pick it up it returns to you. But if they don't pick up your satchel, you're without those items for the rest of the
Oh
game. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So it's up to someone else to give you your items back that you dropped for being stupid and getting defeated by a big ass Pokemon.
Oh, hey, look. I mean, if I'm backing down from a Snorlax, I'm probably gonna drop something. I mean that's just the way of the it's just the way of the land.
And Snorlax wasn't even the hardest one. It was the freaking Scyther that I was trying to call. They have what they call alpha Pokemon in this game. And I know I'm peaking a lot of ears, and I'm not giving any spoilers. These are things that everybody already knows about the game. But I was battling this alpha Scyther, and I was a low level. I believe my highest was like a level 22 at the time. This Scyther was I think a level 31, between 31 and 35, and he knew this move called Air Cutter, and he was just slice and dice, and he was murdering me. It got to the point where I got so frustrated that I saved the game before I even went up to this damn Pokemon. And when he was about to kill my Pokemon, I stopped that game and restarted and was like, we're gonna try a different tactic here. So
That's just smart at the end of the day.
for real. But yeah, that meshing in with the contest, this is a great giveaway. Like I said, third place gets the digital, second place gets the physical, and first place gets both a physical and a Nintendo Switch. And the Nintendo Switch version is the new QLED. So I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah,
Is it a
the
Q or an O?
or OLED or maybe yeah, what the new the
I'm asking.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not trying to be smart.
the new Nintendo Switch, everybody. I'm not looking at the list in front of me right now. I'm just advertising it, but yes. So that will be there. So go ahead and enter. We will see who wins what. So go ahead and enter. But let's get on back on track, Doug. Today's episode was released on January 13th, 2011 in Japan, and here in the States, it was released May 21st, 2011. And my date is from 1908. The first American horror movie silent film, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, premieres out here in Chicago, Illinois.
So, I mean, so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I think, you know, you're familiar with the bare bones of the story. Um, there's a scientist. He's kind of meek and timid and kind of mild mannered. Um,
He's a jerk.
he becomes a jerk.
Yes.
He's kind of a pushover. He becomes, you pardon me, he becomes Jekyll, and um, it's kind of a give and take throughout the whole. I mean, there's been multiple adaptations, movies.
I mean, you
Um,
they even put it in modern day cartoons. I believe they had a SpongeBob episode that was very similar,
hmm
where SpongeBob needed an aggressive side. So yeah.
Yep. And there was a medical drama a few years ago called Do No Harm, where this guy would, and it's been forever since I've seen it. It was on NBC. I think this guy was perfectly fine during the day, but I think like if he drank or something, I think he became, the idiot. And I mean, I'm not trying to get into, don't drink kids, but there's a wrestling character right now, kind of has that thing going.
Which one? Tell her on
Damian Priest.
it. I don't. You know, I think it's kind of comical because I don't think he knows what he's supposed to be. He's either
No,
good
I
or
don't.
bad, and I don't think
I
he
don't
knows.
think so. I mean, the concept makes sense, but they're not executing it right.
No,
So yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It kind of feels like we're due for like another adaptation, but I haven't really done much
probably.
digging.
Oh, there's a. Oh, I should have did that one. Sorry, I just saw something else that happened on this day, and I know I'm going to be getting kicked, but I'm not going to speak too much on it. But Star Wars Episode 5 premiered on this day. Damn.
Episode 5. What's the subtitle on that one?
That's the second Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's right, because they went backwards
Yeah. So it was
for
4,
whatever.
5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3.
That's right. I remember that. Never got into Star Wars.
So yeah, episode 5, the second movie, it came out on this day and it premiered in both the UK and North America at the same time. Man, I should have did that one. Well, I guess I kind of still, but yeah.
That's why you got to scroll. Um,
So, all right. But Dougie, my man, you were about to do yours. So 1938 is what you said, I think.
no, 1932.
Oh, 1932. I
Um,
was close.
Amelia Earhart becomes the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean.
Ooh. Who was the first man?
Charles Lindbergh.
Nice. All right.
So this is one of those where the flight actually takes off on March on May 20th, but you cross an ocean, you lose a day basically. So she lands in Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland, 15 hours after takeoff.
Gotcha.
Um, and of course, Amelia Earhart, had one final takeoff, and she never came back. And it's been one of those things that people still talk about from time to time. Um, Not really going to go too deep into it because that, for all we know, that could come up and be a future date. And here I am
Ruining
spilling the
it.
tea. Yeah. So, but yeah, so today it was her first transatlantic solo flight.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Doug. I
Right.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Now we're going to get down to the meat and potatoes of this podcast, and we're about to go into the review. I think this is kind of the quickest that we've actually gotten into the review, only 20 minutes into the episode. All right. So, if you listened to last week's episode, um, and I'm gonna give you a little spin off just in case you didn't listen to it, but
Shame on
I know, shame on you. But Ash challenged for his basic badge and failed. And he failed horribly. And he was not prepared and he was kind of down on his luck. And then we ended last week's episode with Ash getting ready to go into the training gym so he can train his Pokemon so he can beat the Nacrene City Gym. So um, let's go on and get on into this episode because that was the whole recap.
you. Yes.
So from here, um, we I still get a kick out of this guy's name. But George opens up the door to the gym, and he steps forward and he says, "You are standing in the Pokemon Battles Club training room. You may train until your heart contents. And Mr. Don George says that he's going to start with Tepig. And he's going to start over on this machine over here. And it literally looks like a little mini treadmill, Doug.
It is. Yeah, I believe it is.
So Ash throws out to Pig. To Pig is on the little treadmill, and he said, the first key to beating or to defeating gym leader Lenora is all about raising your Pokemon speed and powering up their moves." So he's like, "All right, Ash, get on up there with him." He's like, "You have to train just as hard, Ash." And Ash is like, "Wait a minute, what?" And he basically brings up how he was caught off guard, and him being caught off guard during his battle kind of almost cost his Pokemon because it made his Pokemon off guard as well. Doug, do you want to fill in on this as well?
Yeah, because he wasn't prepared for, you know, a Lillipups attack, which caused like an auto retreat,
Yes,
and
roar.
then Watchog had the move that I don't
Scary
some kind
face.
of scary face, and that petrified poor Oshawott. So yeah, Ash Ash was his ignorance is what got him, and I think a little bit of his stubbornness. So I kind of didn't like his whole I'm just the trainer. Well, you need to be in there with your Pokemon.
For real. So, all right. But we then have the theme song after we get introduced to the beginning of the training. And after the theme song, Ash and Tepig are running on the treadmill and they are running at an incline. And Ash is like, "This is a piece of cake. We got this." And you see Axew, and Axew thinks that he's about, or think that it's about to go train as well. And, and um, slowly gets stopped and is told, "No, this is just for the boys." And freaking Don George is like, "Oh, well, this was just the warm up. Now we're going to move on to the next step." And this catches freaking Ash off guard. And all of a sudden, coming out of the wall are two cannon like boxes. And then they start just whipping out balls, and Ash just gets whipped in the face. Doug?
Catches one clear in the face and I mean, you could say, oh, it caught Ash off guard. Wouldn't it catch you off guard?
It would catch me off guard too. Yes.
I mean, for goodness, and and like you said, he caught that flush in the face, and he goes down. He's off the treadmill. They run over and pick him up, and
And these are they're pretending that these balls that are coming out are shadow balls, which is something
yes,
that Ash had failed to have his Pokemon train for. So they're training for it now.
and Ash, he's a little shook up, but he kind of almost literally bounces right back. He's like, "All right, let's fuck it, come on, give me, hit. Is that all you got?" kind of thing, and Don George is like, "Get back up there," and we cut, and we see that they're back up to speed, and Ash is like, let her rip, give it, hit me, well, not hit me again, but let it go again, and we see him and Tepig are kind of they're focused, and Don George is hitting buttons, and then the freaking dodgeball things start coming out again, and we see they're getting better at their dodging techniques.
Yes. All right. And then from here, so so the balls come, and they're a lot quicker, and they're finally getting the hang of it. And then they're like, "All right, let's up the ante again." So within 5 minutes, I mean, I'm guessing it was longer than 5 minutes that they were dodging the first set of balls, but to us, within 5 minutes, some cannons spring up behind them, and they are now in the midst of dodging these balls from behind. And then Ash gets the bright idea to use Ember to slow down these balls and to be able to dodge as well. But they get hit again.
Doesn't yeah, it doesn't work. He just gets caught, flush in the back, and you know Don George, he goes over and offers a hand up and says, if you keep training like this, you should be all right. But you got to be willing to, kind of roll with the punches, kind of thing. Ash takes John George's hand. He gets picked up, and he's reinvigorated, and we see another montage of them dodging, and we see that Ash is kind of looking at Pig like, all right, we might have something here. And then we cut to the end of the workout, and Ash is huffing and puffing, and Pig is splayed out across Ash's knee. He's wiped out, and um, freaking Iris is like, well, you seem to be faster, and it's like, yeah, if he wasn't faster, he'd have a blown out knee by now.
Freaking
And,
Iris was, and we missed a line in the middle, but when Ash got beamed in the face by the damn ball, Iris had enough nerve to say, "Oh, you got hit by the ball? You wasn't ready for that? You're such a kid." Oh,
yeah, well,
I I
nails on a
I
chalkboard.
I know. I grind my teeth every single time that she says it too. But all right. So after that, we go to the next scene, and the next scene we are going to train with Ashwat. And so we go into this room, and it's a big old training area, and it has a big old swimming pool with an incline of like a little waterfall that's coming down, but coming down at a certain speed so Pokemon can swim on it.
And
And
so,
Ashwat is about to have a ball, or at least so he thinks.
yeah, I mean, Ash, we see Ash is dressed in his swim trunks, and he throws out Oshawott, and Oshawott turns and sees the pool and starts doing his little jig, and he jumps in and he's doing, leisurely dog paddles, and he's just, like you said, he's just having a gay old, he's waving his little shell, he's just having a gay old time, and, Ash is like, we're here to train, we're not here to goof around.
So
And John George, for some reason, is like, that's right, you came here to try. It's like, goddamn, take it easy. He knew he was on it. I mean, pump the brakes a little bit here.
for real, and he's like, "All right, so we're going to work on building up your stamina." So what they end up doing is, oh well, actually, we're not there yet. So as soon as Don George says that we're going to start working on your stamina, we cut to another scene where Topig is being fed by Iris and Silent for his hard work and his hard workout. So Silent has made some. Isn't it always a coincidence that Ash, someone that follows Ash, is always a good cook?
Yeah, because if he wasn't, he'd starve.
and
Because we don't really see much about money, so we don't know, like,
and you know what, Doug? It's really funny. So and I know I'm asking this in the middle of the podcast, but there's a new movie out, everybody. I'm not sure if it's in English yet. I got to do my research, but it looks like it's pretty good. It's already on Amazon Prime. But Pokemon, they have a new movie that's out starring the new Legends Arceus. Arceus, he's in the animated cartoon, and I want to know if you guys want us to review that. I don't know anything about the movie yet. I know Brock returns. I know that much, but I don't know the ins and out. I don't know what it's about. But anyone that's seen it or anyone that wants it reviewed, go ahead and let us know on any type of social media or shoot us an email. A lot of you love shooting us emails once you found out what our email is. So go ahead and shoot us an email. Find us on Reddit, anywhere. Just let your voice be known that you want us to do it, and if we get enough people that may want us to do it, I will then dig into it, and I will talk to you off air, Doug, on what we can do to watch this movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I know nothing about it, but I saw like a 10-second commercial on it, and it looks pretty good. I haven't watched the official preview yet, but it looked good, but it looks like it has a bunch of flashy stuff, so I'm gonna have to watch it with the lights on. From what I see.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody. So back in the back in the training room, we find out that has wandered away, and Ash and Ashwat are working on their backstrokes with the current pressing up
They're
against.
going. Yeah, they're going against the current. Yeah.
Yeah. So Don George is like, you got to be able to keep up with the current, and this will help your endurance as well. And then we see good old Axu come up, and he's just walking, just all sorts of proud that he got away uh, from from his trainer, and he hops up on the computer that programs the current for the waves in the pool and just starts smashing a shit ton of buttons. And at this time, makes the current go like 20 times faster than what it's going. And poor little Ashwat gets handled. It just comes up and just whacks Ash and Ashwat, and Ashwat just goes flying back. And Pikachu shows Don George, hey, Axu is on the computer. And Pikachu just runs over and is like, Pika, Pika. And Axu's like, Axu. Just all sorts of cute. Doug?
So I take issue with this,
Okay.
and I mean, I feel like I probably said it before, so I might be beating a dead horse or whatever. But it's been a minute since we've covered Black and White. Um, Iris's stick is that she calls Ash a kid.
Yes.
Like every time he fucks up, like, oh, you're such a kid. Yeah, that's such a kid thing to do. Whatever the fuck.
Yes.
But here's Iris
Losing
letting
her
her
Pokemon.
one Pokemon.
Well,
It's not like
she has two. Remember, she does have another Pokemon, but the other one doesn't listen to her.
right. We've covered that, and we don't see him much. But the one Pokemon that's constantly out.
Yes.
It's like if Pikachu was constantly going off and getting into adventures.
For real. Like, just watch your damn Pokemon.
I mean, I would categorize that personally as a very kid-like move.
For
Losing
real.
track of
Like, if I was Ash, I'd be mad because I'm taking this training seriously for once, and
for once. Yeah, good catch.
for once, and your Pokemon is coming in and ruining it. I would have been like, you can't even keep track of your own Pokemon? Such a kid. And I can just see the steam just coming out of her ears. All right, Doug,
Midge.
you want to go over this scene of Silent and Iris coming into the training room?
So they get freaking Axu off the control panel, and Ash is able to kind of track down. Well, not track down because they never left the pool, but kind of get a hold of Ashawat.
Who's just
And
floating in the water?
it's like, okay, come on, that was exciting, but we got more training to do. Come on, I think we'll be all right now that the 5-year-old's not behind the controls. And Ashawat's like, all right, fucking goddamn, let's fucking go. And they go, and he goes, and he flings them. Ash flings Oshawott up the waterfall. Oshawott focuses his energy, and he comes down with this new attack, and um, Don George tells him to aim. There's a bullseye on the wall, and he says aim for the target. And he comes up a
Sure.
bit short, and Iris comes up and is like, "That was awesome. Was that Aquajet?" And like
Yes.
Ash has a fucking clue.
She's like, did Oswald just use Aquajet? That is so cool.
He sure did. I taught him it all by myself.
I'm the one that flung him. Did you not see that? And Ash is like, Aquajet? All right. Oshawott knows Aquajet. Well, it's funny that he says he knows Aquajet because he doesn't really know it. That was his first time doing it, which is going to come into play in this episode in just a few minutes.
He figured it out.
But
Um,
um but Ash starts dancing on top of one of the stairs, just jumping around, so happy that Oshawott knows Aquajet that he forgets that he is still soaking wet and his foot just slips on the stairs and he goes flying into the pool. He's so lucky he didn't crack his head open on those stairs.
oh yeah, I mean that's how you know it's a cartoon. I mean, at the very least, that's a bruised tailbone.
I
I
know.
mean, for goodness sakes. Um, so they're like, "Oh my God, Ash fell in the pool." Ashwat jumps in and he's like, "Ashwat, that's really cool. You learned a new move." And Ashwat's like, "Yeah, I'm hot shit. Let's fucking go. I, I'll take her on my damn self." And we fade out, and then we fade back in, and we see that it's nighttime, and we see that they're still in the gym, and we see that Ash and Topig are back on the treadmill.
Just
Like
wrecking
they're
shit.
making look. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like they're making light work of the shadow balls, and pardon me, Topig is really getting better at controlling them with his Ember attack.
Yes. So after they're done training, we come to find out that it's now time for the gym battle. So they weren't even playing. We literally go from that to now it's morning and we're back in Lenora's gym. So Ash can battle for his basic badge. And we get a nice little cool animation scene and I like the way that they drew this. Like they show Lenora and they show the camera kind of swoop around and then we get a close up of Ash. And then when we go all the way up to Ash's face, it's like it pans back and it's looking down at the battle grid. I really like that anime. So
Good shot.
I know, like it's like they put a little extra coin in there in there for that scene.
Almost straight out of a video game.
For real. Yeah, yeah. You could think of it like that. I wonder if this was around the time that one of their video games was coming out. I should do a little bit of digging
Could
there.
be. I mean,
Yeah.
I know one of the games was literally called Black and White.
Yes. Actually, Black and White got two. Black and White got Black and White, and then it had a sequel the following year, Black and White 2.
That's right.
And like unlike other games where it's the same game going back over, it actually takes place in the future of Black and White 1. So
Ah,
it's a completely different game, just same atmosphere. So
that's
I
nice.
yeah, I know. I thought that was pretty cool. So, all right, but Lenora makes note that Ash looks confident and she's like, "That face tells me that you've been training a lot." And he's like, "We've been working with Don George." Freaking idiot. Why are you going and telling her your technique? You're going to get Don George in trouble. She's going to be like, "Another one, Don? Another one? You can't be telling
Hey,
all my secrets."
Don George has to put food on his table. What's it matter if he spills a couple secrets, for goodness sakes?
So, but Ash is determined. He tells Lenora that he is going to win that badge for sure this time. And Lenora's like, well, it certainly hasn't done anything to damper your spirit. So I can't wait to battle you. So you can expect double from me." And Ash is like, "What? Wait. What are you talking about?" And Lenora's like, look. And she takes out her Pokeballs and she's like, you'll be facing these Pokemon. And then so we got a Watchhog, and he's
which
like,
is from last battle.
yes. And then Ash is like, who is this Pokemon? And then we find out that her Lillipup has evolved into a Herdier, the loyal dog Pokemon.
And
That
of course, Ash sees a Pokemon he's not familiar with. Dexter comes out, and you know, we basically find out that yeah, it's the evolved form of. Pardon me. We find out it's the evolved form of Lillipup, and like I don't. And maybe I'm just a little jaded. I don't know if I'm necessarily jiving with Lenora calling it a surprise. It's like Pokemon evolve.
yeah, I mean, her Pokemon evolved. It's just at she's never used this. She's never used Herdier in battle. So this is going to be her first time, but basically it's Lillipup on steroids because because Dexter basically tells us that the hairs on its back can be really soft, but when it's getting ready to attack, that the fur hardens and it becomes like armor. So that is where Herdier gets its like umph. That I mean that's the next evolution from this Pokemon. So at this point, Iris and Silent are kind of worried. They're like, huh, Lillipup evolved. So Lenora's using a different Pokemon to battle this time. So Ash, you're gonna have to come up with a different game plan. And Doug, I'm gonna flop this on over to you.
So we find out that she's gonna go with Herdier first. So she calls back Watchhog, and Ash calls out Pig, and we see them. They have a stare down, and her husband comes out and basically starts the base. This is a gym challenge, 2v2. Let's have a clean fight kind of thing.
So it's at this point that Ash starts the battle and tells to Pig Ember attack. So Pig goes achoo, and Herdier just up. We got the who's that Pokemon, and of course it's Herdier. Sorry everybody, I was getting ready to get on into this battle. I forgot we had a who's that
Oh, I didn't
Pokemon.
even I didn't know if you would even have them.
Yep. And
So yeah,
so Topig uses Ember attack, and when it does, it goes achoo, and Herdier uses its protect, so it gets a nice little barrier, and Lenora's like, all right, Herdier, Shadow Ball attack, and he gets four little Shadow Balls. He shoots them over at Topig, and Topig is dodging them like freaking crazy, like he was on that um uh, on the
treadmill.
treadmill, and then he uses his Ember attack in order to control two of the four balls and just lets them explode in the air. So Lenora makes note that Topig is now much faster. Doug.
So Ash calls for Tepig to use tackle. Um, Lily Herdier immediately
Herdier.
cuts that off with roar, and we see Tepig, you know, like last time. Pardon me, is it's a force retreat,
Yes.
and so there's no guarding against that.
No.
Like, I mean, that's the move. You're done. Like that. There's no like you can't put cotton in the ears or anything.
Nope. The only thing is if you only have one other Pokemon, then I mean if that's your only Pokemon that you're battling with, then at that point it doesn't I mean your Pokemon can go back into the ball, but it's gonna come right back out if it's the only one. So this could have messed up Ash's whole plan if he had any of his other Pokemon on his belt because he could have randomly called out one of his other Pokemon that are on his belt.
aka one of the ones he hadn't been training.
Yes. So
So, so yeah, Tepig force retreats, and Oshawott is out, and you can just see that Oshawott's like, I was not prepared for this. And
who is that dog?
and so Lenore's like, all right. So she calls back Herdier, she calls out Watchog, which I mean, I suppose
That was nice of her.
yeah, she didn't have to. I was gonna say she didn't have to, so I suppose, but um and then she immediately goes, all right, Watchog, use mean look, and we see all the eyes and shit, and it just takes a hold of Oshawott, and Ash is like this is just like last time. This is you're almost copying move for move, and Laura, it's basically like, well, it fucking worked the first time, and I don't see any reason why it's not going to work now. It was cold blooded.
So, all right. So after that, um, let's see. Ash tells Oshawott to go in for Razor Shell at this moment. So Oshawott throws up his shell and he catches it and he's speeding in at Watchog, and Lenora's like, Watchog, dodge it. But she tells it too late, and freaking Oshawott just slashes the mess out of Watchog. But Watchog takes a bunt of the move to the chin and is able to use like some type of aerobic move and just bounce back and lands on its 2 feet. And he's ready to battle again. And Lenora makes note that Oshawott has too gotten faster since the last time they battled.
Which, it would kind of be embarrassing if he spent all that time at the training facility and didn't pick up any. I mean, it would be on brand, but it would be embarrassing.
Yes. And then from here, Ash starts getting cocky,
Very cocky.
and he starts. We get cocky Ash here, and he's like, he is getting faster, but there's something else I need to show you too. Oshawott, use Aquajet. And Oshawott starts his Aquajet. You can tell something's going wrong because freaking Oshawott, as he's getting into his Aquajet, starts to flail around as if he's not confident. And then Lenora and Watchog are just watching this big stream of water go into the air, and it starts flying all over the place. And it's like a balloon that's that's not tied at the bottom, but it was fully filled up. It just starts flying all around the room, and then it just goes and crashes somewhere.
Yeah,
That was Oshawott,
yeah.
and Oshawott just goes and just crashes, and everyone's surprised, and Oshawott's head hurts. And Ash is like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then Ash is like, "All right, good. Use Aquajet again." And Oshawott's like, "You son of a bitch! Why you asked me to do it again? I just fucking did it, and I failed." And he goes back up, and he starts swinging, and he deflates again and just crashes to the ground. And we find out from Silent via commentary that Oshawott made no Aquajet, but it's still really shaky. He needs to master that move before doing it again. Doug?
And I mean, yeah, okay, he picked it up, but we saw it as the viewer saw it executed in training one time,
Yes.
and it's not like it was a bullseye. We saw Ash and Tepig on the treadmill twice,
Yes, we
well,
did.
3 times because he got knocked off the first time. So, we knew that Tepig's endurance was up, and we knew that it had some type of mastery of the shadow balls. I mean, at least in dodgeball form.
Yes.
But it's like a baseball pitcher. Guy can hit 100 with his fastball if he concentrates. That's not an automatic 100, and you damn sure don't know where it's going to go all the time.
That's true.
Like it's like, well, he hit 100 in spring training. He's going to go out and win 25 games and win a side. It's like, no, that thing. Next time he throws that in a game, that thing could end up in the backstop. Oh, but he hit it once. Well, that doesn't mean jack. So Ash is sitting there. He's got egg on his face, and um, pardon me. So Ash is like, "Oh, fuck, fuck this aqua jet. Just use aqua jet again. Jesus Christ, just use water gun." And Watchhog easily dodges it, and Lenora says, "Use confuse ray," and at the four orbs or five orbs circling around Oshawott head, and they pop, and
It just makes them
um,
all sorts of confused.
he's just wobbly and just shaky on his feet. And he's just, you ever been drunk? He's drunk,
Yes.
and Lenora's,
Lenore kind of throws it in his face.
yeah, she kind of rubs his nose in it, and it's like, you can be as trained as you want to be, but if you're confused, if your Pokemon's confused, you're in deep shit. And Ash is like, well, son of a, Don George didn't make me confused.
But then at this point, Lenora pulls out the trick of all tricks and tells Watchhog to use Thunderbolt. And Thunderbolt, his whole body gathers a whole bunch of electricity, which I thought was kind of weird. But I mean, I guess I can see Watchhog using Thunderbolt. And Ash tells Oshawott to use its razor shell to deflect the move. And Oshawott is trying his hardest, but he's still confused. But the freaking lightning buries all over its body and just fries him. Doug?
But he is able to. Yeah, I mean, he took that, but I'm gonna say that he was able to block the brunt of it because he
Yes.
didn't land and wasn't immediately crispy. Um, so he lands on his feet, and Ash goes, "All right, water gun," and Oshawott just turns, to the complete. The way
Opposite
I'm looking at,
side.
I'm gonna say to the left, but I could be off. And he just goes, "Wah," and he just, oh, and Silent's like, well, he's confused. Uh, Not only is he confused, but he was hit with his complete um, disadvantage type, so he's all out of sorts. And so Oshawott has not had a good showing because
No.
he's loosey goosey with the freaking Aqua Jet, and now he's confused and electrified. He just needs to lie down.
And from here, he ends up snapping out of his confusion in just enough time, because it's a kid's cartoon, to where
Right.
Ash goes, use
And there
Aquajet.
and there's only 7 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, for real. And Ash tells Oshawott, use Aquajet again. And of course, it being a kid cartoon, third time's a charm. And Oshawott goes up and he starts swimming and he has control of his Aquajet. And Lenora tells Watchhog to use Thunderbolt, and Watchhog is not able to strike the water because if he strikes the water, Oshawott's done. But
Right.
Oshawott's dodging left and right from all the lightning attacks, and then he goes straight down, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, is it about to happen?" Watchhog is like, "Fuck," and then just boom.
And there's a big explosion because kids cartoon, and the dust settles, and we see that Watchhog has the anime circles, and so we go, oh shit, Watchhog's out. But then we pan over to Oshawott, and Oshawott's got the anime circles. So
Oshawott knocked
Spencer,
himself out.
he kamikazed. Um, and so Spencer throws his arm up and says, "Everybody's out. Everybody's down. Everybody's down one. It's 1-1, and uh, next point wins it."
So, of
So
course, it is now time for Pig versus Herdier.
earlier again,
And
and
hopefully he beats it this time. Doug, I'm going to let you go over this part of the scene.
so yeah, after Lenora's like, "Well, that was a bit lucky, but you're gonna have to be a little better than lucky um, to actually win this battle." So we call out their Pokemon, and we Ash goes to the tried and true Ember, and Herdier puts up his what's that called?
Protect.
He puts up the Protect and blocks that, but is somehow unable to block a simple tackle attack. Um, but
Because
again,
he can block one move, but he wasn't ready for the second move.
he was not ready for the second one, and again we get more evidence that Tepig's endurance was knocked up a notch because of the treadmill, and Ash is like, "Well, tackle just worked, so let's do tackle again." And um, Herdier uses Shadow Ball. Um, the pig gets past one, but he catches one of them square in the nose, and Iris is like, "Well, he was too close to be able to fully dodge," which was probably the most intelligent thing she said all episode. And freaking Lenora's out there teaching,
Yes.
like she's up 2-1. Like she didn't just lose freaking Watchog.
But
And
she does tell Ash she's about to teach him a lesson with Herdier's new attack.
and what's it called?
It's
Mega
Giga Impact.
Mega Impact. So Herdier jumps up and he's got this energy that comes out of his mouth, and he basically does what Oshawott did. He kamikazes himself, but he's able to land on his feet, and Tepig takes it. He tumbles and he's down, but we don't have the anime eyes, so we're
No.
like, well, he might still be in it. And Silence basically given like expert commentary here, and Iris looks up and goes, "Who the hell's side are you on anyway?" And then Ash has to go like full babyface mode and goes, "Tepig, you got to get up. I believe in you." And um, Herdier uses Shadow Ball, and Tepig goes full Matrix mode, just dodging him. But he lands on his feet, and you can see he's huffing and puffing. He's got a bead of sweat coming down. And Iris goes, "If Lenora lands one more move, we're probably out of here." And Silent goes, "Yeah, no second badge for Ash." And
And it's at this
you
point
know,
she tells them to, or she tells Herdier to use Shadow Ball again.
and we see we see Tepig, dodging, and um
So we
Tepig goes in for flame charge. Herdier goes in for another Giga Impact, and we've got one final big explosion, and we got smoke, and we got two. I mean, where's the smoke alarm in this gym, for goodness sakes? And both Pokemon are down. You can see that they're both damaged because they're scuffed up, and and they both tell their Pokemon to stand up, and they both do. Then they kind of stand there for a second, and they take a wide shot, and all of a sudden you just see Herdier fall, and we see a close up of Herdier, and he's got the anime eyes, and that's it.
it's done. And then from here, Ash has won the basic badge. And Ash is celebrating like he's just won the Pokemon League, but that's not for another couple years.
No shit.
So from here, Lenora comes over. She congratulates Ash. Both Lenora and her husband congratulate Ash on the flame charge attack because that was the first time that they have seen that up close. And Lenora's like, "Yeah, you caught everybody off guard. So great job. I admire your battle style." And she's like, "All kidding aside, here is your basic badge."
And
And
boy, is it basic.
yeah, it is basic. It's just a little rectangle with some purple squares embedded into it. And it's very, very tiny. And Ash better have a book to put this in. And he does. There it is.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say he does.
So he puts it into his book and we all laugh, and that is basically the end. Um let's
We get a quick scene at the Pokemon Center, and Nurse Joy has done a checkup on Oshawott and Tepig, and he looked at the egg and said, "Oh, it's gonna hatch really soon." Oh, little do we know.
I know.
And Ash is like, "Well, all right," and
And Nurse
and
Joy
then
said, well, yeah, she's like, yeah, the egg is due to hatch pretty soon. I hope you take good care of your egg." And we leave from here, and it's now time for let's see. They said the closest city with a gym is Castelia City.
right.
So that is the next. It looks like they actually have to travel over water. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope they have an episode going over because I know some trouble will ensue from them having to go over water.
Yeah, it would be kind of a kick in the teeth if they were just like, "Oh, that was a neat trick to the city." Like, no, how did you? How?
How did you get there? So, and then the producer pans up and we get a nice little sunset view. And that is this week's episode, everybody. So, yay! Good episode. Good episode. Doug, what do you give this episode out of your 5 stars?
This was an easy four.
Nice.
Um, we saw a few Pokemon that we hadn't seen yet. Um, it was all training in a gym battle. Um, I am very tempted to knock it down another half star because there was no Team Rocket. There wasn't even a sniff of Team Rocket.
Well,
Um,
well, we're about to get full blown Team Rocket in almost half of the episode next week.
that doesn't make up for nothing this week.
It's the best part of the show right now.
It really is, especially after you watch some of that Kanto stuff where they're selling knockoff gym badges at the Pokemon League.
I know. So, all right, I'm gonna go with an actual. Yeah, I'm probably gonna kick it up to that half because we got an evolution. Um, so we had that. We actually had a full blown battle 2-on-2 with nothing getting in the way. Let's see. We had Ash training, so we actually got to see him train for this battle and then utilize everything that he trained in Zed battle. So yeah, I'm gonna say about a 4.5. The only thing that probably would have um made this even better would have probably been Team Rocket since they have been hyping them up for the past few weeks. So if Team Rocket was doing any of their James Bond shit in this episode, I would easily give this episode a 5. But this week I'm gonna give it about a 4.5 because we need that we just need that little tiny jump. So,
Right, and I keep saying, "Oh, it's a four, it's a four and a half." I don't know. I mean, I want to feel like if I see a perfect episode, like a 5 out of 5, I feel like I want to say that I would know it, but I don't know if I would.
yeah.
Like, I mean, you'd have to lose the theme song for 1 week for sure.
you can't lose the theme song, Doug.
You could.
They could, but I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever getting an episode without the theme song. So, but yeah, everybody,
You got to
that
get
that
the
was
even it is.
that was this week's episode. I'm going to end this week's episode with a Pokemon pack opening. I went back into the archive and I have a Sword and Shield Evolving Skies booster pack. So let's go
Chew.
ahead and
Chew.
bless you, my brother.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and get this open. Let's see if I can get some of my son's luck. Ah, I see a black card already. All right, everybody. So get ready. This is going to be a dud pack. Doug, what energy am I about to look at?
Psychic energy.
What? Say that again?
Psychic energy.
Psychic energy. It's a lightning energy. Okay.
Ah,
I got a Swobat, a Shelgon, a Trainer Stormy Mountains card, a Tentacle, a Pikachu. Oh, that's a nice Pikachu card. A Seedot, a Lillipup. Shout out to Lillipup from this episode. A Bagon, a Reverse Hollow Thievul, and my rare is a non-hollow Semitone or Seismitone. So those are the cards this week. Again, if you want to see these cards, go ahead and hop onto our Instagram. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to, but they're up there if you want to see them. But that's this week's episode. Do you have anything else to add this week, Doug?
oh no, not really.
With that being said, I will get ready to sign off. So go ahead and say your goodbye, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you, I will see you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.